My model project for Anatomy and Physiology 202 is bulk flow and filtration in the capillaries. In this drawing, one can see a larger view of how blood enters an arteriole via an artery. An arteriole is a branch of an artery that leads to a capillary. A capillary is a tiny blood-filled vessel that connects an arteriole and a venule. And the venule then connects back to the vein, which carries deoxygenated blood back to the heart. But don't let me get ahead of myself. How and where did the blood become deoxygenated? The blood loses its oxygen, hemes, while traveling through the capillary. In the capillary, not only is oxygen lost, but filtration occurs. Fluid is capable of escaping from capillaries by leaking out of the spaces between endothelial cells. This is considered filtration due to the space that the fluid travels through being so small. Filtration occurs due to the capillary hydrostatic pressure, which is the force that is exerted by the fluid against the capillary wall. Blood collotic osmotic pressure occurs on the venule side of the capillary during reabsorption. This is a term that refers to the measurement of pressure put forth within the cardiovascular system by proteins found in plasma. At the top of this image, one can see a lymphatic capillary, which is a thin-walled vessel that is closed at one end and are located in the spaces between cells throughout the body, except on the central nervous system, and they are non-vascular tissues. In this image, one can see interstitial fluid surrounding the capillary, as well as one can calculate the net filtration pressure. This can be done by finding the difference between the net hydrostatic pressure and the net osmotic pressure. This overall force is responsible for moving fluid across the capillary walls. This drawing is just a simple graph showing the blood pressure on the arterial end is greater than the osmotic pressure, and so fluid flows out of the capillary into the interstitial fluid. And on the venule side, blood pressure is less than osmotic pressure, and so the fluid flows from the interstitial fluid into the capillary. The thoracic duct is the main vessel of the lymphatic system, passing upward in front of the spinal cord and draining into the left internal jugular and left subclavian veins. The right lymphatic duct is a short vessel that receives lymph from the right side of the head and empties into the right subclavian vein at its junction with the internal jugular vein. Thank you for listening to my presentation.